Today we will read about Unit 8 of Public Administration, which is named Indian Administration. So let's start our chapter. Now firstly, we read about introduction of this chapter. The journey of public administration as an independent and new discipline goes back almost a century. The beginning of the theme of public administration in India get back to 1937, when the Diploma in Public Administration (DPA) course was started in the Department of Political Science at the University of Madras. In 1943, the Diploma course in Public Administration was started in Lucknow University. In 1950, the Department of Public Administration and Local Self-Government was established in Nagpur University. In 1956, the Indian Institute of Public Administration (IIPA) in New Delhi was established, which conducts training for the officials of various departments and ministries of centre and state governments. Public administration institutions and academies were established in the states in the 5th and 6th decades to meet the training and orientation needs of the officers of the state services. In this sequence, the Harish Chandra Mathur Rajasthan State Institute of Public Administration (HSM RIPA) was established in Jaipur, Rajasthan in 1957. Presently, there are around 30 state administrative training institutes existing in India. Indian administration is precisely as old as our society. It is an activity. But with the essay of Woodrow Wilson, the study of public administration is originated. It occurs in private and public organizations. So, it is basically categorized into two parts. A. Private administration. B. Public administration. According to Woodrow Wilson, public administration is the systematic and detailed application of law. According to F. A. Nigro and L. G. Nigro, public administration is cooperative group effort. It covers legislature, executive and judicial, different in significant ways from private administration. Significant role in policy formulation. Since 1986, the Union Public Service Commission has declared public administration as a distinct discipline and given the alternative to the candidates. Furthermore, the Public Service Commission of the states has also considered public administration as an independent discipline. Now we will understand about structure of the civil services. At the time of British East India Company, the structure of the civil services had divided into three categories: military, naval services and commercial affairs. Those who were involved in the commercial activities or affairs, in order to distinguish the servants from the people employed in military and naval services, basically they known as civil services. Charles Cornwallis, Governor General of India 1786-1793, was a British Army general and official at that time who was the first to bring these civil services into the existence. So, this is the reason he is also known as the father of the civil services of India. In fact, the commercial affairs were happened in the company since the time of Warren Hastings, Governor General of Bengal 1773-1785. During those days, civil servants were not appointed through any competition, rather they were nominated through the court of the directors. During Cornwallis, these civil servants were given more responsibilities, and there were two categories of civil services. A. Covenanted. It means higher post in the civil services, and it was only for British. Though uncovenanted services means lower post in the civil services, and it was not only for British but also for Indians. At the time, corruption was increasing day by day. Therefore, to eliminate corruption, Cornwallis took many steps to abolish the corruption. Like, he raised the salary of the civil servants. The civil servants could not be involved in any kind of private trade. Therefore, he made some strict rules for that and strictly enforced the rules against the private trades. Apart from this, Cornwallis promoted civil servants based on seniority within 5 to 6 years. Just like Cornwallis, Richard Wellesley, Governor General of India 1798 से 1805, also did many works and reforms for the civil service. He established Fort William College, founded on 10th July 1800 in Calcutta to train the newly recruited civil servants in India. His retirement in 1806, the Court of Directors disapproved his Fort William College and set up another college for civil service at Haileybury, London to train the new recruits. After introducing the Charter Act 1853, many changes also took place in it. The recruitment to be through an open competition, so it started the open competition in civil services. To conduct the exam, it was necessary that a body should be formed. Therefore, Civil Service Commission was established in London in 1851. These examinations were conducted from 1855 onwards, but this examination was held only in London, and the age limit for appearing in this examination was also fixed at 23 years. In 1885, the Indian National Congress was formed, and it raised so many demands related to reforms in the civil services. Because of this, it affected the Government of India Act 1919. In 1924, Lee Commission also recommended some changes in the civil services, proposed an equal number of British and Indian members in the civil services. According to Lee Commission, it should be 20% Indians promoted from the provincial services, also 40% Indians directly recruited through the exams, and also the equal percentage of direct recruited 40% British for civil services. Colonial legacy. Basically, the system landed over by the Britishers to the Indians. So this system was followed by the Indian system, is known as legacy of colonialism in India. These Britishers ruled over India for almost 200 years. The Britishers started coming to India formally after the establishment of the British East India Company. They had to come in India as traders. But later on, they got involved in the power struggle in the environment which created by the downfall of the Mughal Empire and the presence of rival French and Dutch trading companies in India. The emergence of control of British over India can be traced from the foundation of British rule India started with the defeat of Commander Siraj-ud-Daulah 1733-1757 in the Battle of Plassey 1757. The end of his reign marked the start of the rule of the East India Company in India. Battle of Plassey marks a significant break in the modern Indian history. The East India Company, whose original purpose was commercial gain, was now transformed itself into a ruling territorial power in India. The British forces defeated over the French in 1763 in India. The British and French ended with the Treaty of Paris, and in that war, France lost all claims on Canada. The Battle of Buxar 1764. The joint armies of Mir Qasim were defeated by the British. Therefore, from 1765 to 1857, the East India Company ruled over India. Then in the year 1857, the unsuccessful First Indian Rebellion revolt was a major uprising in India. Thereafter, the national movements were a series of historic events in India to eventually aim of ending the rule of British. Now we talk about civil services in the constitutional framework, appointment training, promotion. All India services are common to both central and state government, and at present time, All India services are categorized into 3 levels, which are 1. Indian Administrative Service, 2. Indian Police Service. 3. Indian Forest Service. Article 309 is actually empowers the Parliament and regulate and recruit the service condition of person which is appointed to central services and for the post. According to Article 300 thus, that member of All India Services and Central Services post hold their offices during pleasure of the President of India. In Article 311, no member of central government and All India Services shall be dismissed or to be removed by an authority subordinate. According to Article 312 of the Constitution of India, the Parliament of India create new All India Services because of a resolution passed by Rajya Sabha to the effect. It controlled jointly by the state government and the central government of India, and the salaries and pensions are met by the states. But the disciplinary action against these officers can only be taken by central government of India. Article 323, in which allows the Parliament to provide for the setting up of an administrative tribunal for the adjudication of trial of disputes and complaints regarding recruitment and service condition of person appointed to central services and post in Indian services. And according to Article 335, it claims that the SC sent citizens of India shall be taken into consideration a making appointment to the central services and posts. According to Article 320, UPSC, Union Public Service Commission, is among required to be consulted on all matters which are relating to the recruitment in civil services and posts in India. Here in this given picture, we can also see the post of IAS-IPS officer in state. Now see about PMO, Cabinet Secretariat, and the role of Cabinet Secretariat. PMO, Cabinet Secretariat. As we can say that public administration cannot be exist in a policy vacuum and it must have administrative structures. Basically, policy making is the major function of the political executive in a parliamentary democracy. The country like India, the policy making is inherent in the political executive, which is the cabinet. Now, here we will discuss about the role of Prime Minister's office and the role of Cabinet Secretariat in policy making. The role of Cabinet Secretariat. An important place in the public administration is the role of the Cabinet Secretariat. The Cabinet Secretariat is responsible for the administration of Government of India, transaction of business rules, 1961, and Government of India, allocation of business rules, 1961. The Cabinet Secretariat works under the Prime Minister of India. The Cabinet Secretariat of India is also the administrative head of the Secretariat, who is also the ex-official chairman of the Civil Services Board. The following subjects are allotted to the Secretariat. I. The secretarial assistance to the rules of business, cabinet committees and the cabinet. 2. Responsible for the administration of the Government of India. 3. To facilitating smooth transaction of business in the departments of the government by ensuring to be rules are followed. 4. To developing cooperation amongst every departments. We assists in decision making by removing differences amongst departments. Now see about the role of PMO. The Prime Minister of India is the head of the Union Government. Since India has adopted the parliamentary democracy, it is a Prime Minister who is responsible for the functioning of the government, and the Prime Minister is assisted by his Council of Ministers. As head of Council of Ministers, the Prime Minister supervises the work of all the ministries. The Prime Minister's office, PMO, provides secretarial assistance to the Prime Minister, who is headed by the Principal Secretary to Prime Minister. The PMO includes the Anti-Corruption Unit. In cases where the PM is the minister in charge of all matters which is requiring ministerial approval are not assigned to the Minister of State of Deputy Commissioner. if any are submitted for orders. Even the Prime Minister's National Relief Fund and National Defence Fund also directly operated from the PMO. The Prime Minister of India is also the chairman of the Niti Aayog, National Institution for Transforming India, which is a non-statutory and also non-constitutional body. Apart from this, the PM's personal attention include as following given below: defence-related issues, judicial appointments for which preference approval is required, those policy matters which are relating to the administration of the civil services and reforms, all major decisions which are relating to the Cabinet Secretariat, major issues of policy formulations. D. Prime Minister's special packages announced for the states, the request for a grant of agreement for foreign heads of commission posted to India, the appointments of state administrative tribunals and the Central Administrative Tribunal appointments, appointments of Election Commission, member of constitutional committees and commissions and Union Public Service Commission. Let's see about major initiatives in administrative reforms. Central Vigilance Commission came into effect in 1964 to prevent corruption in the central government offices. The first Administrative Reforms Commission, ARC, 1966, was headed by Morarji Desai and initially later on by K. Hanumanthia in 2005. The second ARC made up and was chaired by Veerappa Moily. On 19 February 1999, the Prime Minister of India, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, addresses to the National Development Council meeting about existence of exploitation and the corruption in the bureaucracy and how this corruption in bureaucracy needs to be stopped and how to make bureaucracy directly corruption-free and how to bring transparency in the bureaucracy. In order to this, what is administrative reforms in the administrative system? Administrative system should be reformed so that it can meet the new demands of society. All these reforms are known as changes, but all changes cannot be considered as reforms. The administration of state can never be permanent or be applied in all cases. According to Gerald Caden, the artificial inducement of administrative transformation against resistance. Furthermore, he clarified that reform is different from reorganization. Now see the chapter summary. In this preceding chapter, the legacy of the past modern form of Indian administration may be mainly a result of British colonial rule, but in reality, it is results from a long historical development. The present Indian rule is largely influenced by its ancient and medieval form and results from a gradual development. Since the transferring power in India was done from British hands to partition of India into two nations named as India and Pakistan, but naturally the preceding features are still visible today. Just as the influence of the Mughal Persian language is still visible in the administration of revenue and justice, similarly the laws, rules, procedures developed by the British are reflected in the Indian public administration. All India services and other public services, national unity, administrative anonymity and secrecy, committee system, secretarial systems, strict bureaucracy, federal system, district administration, revenue administration, police administration, financial administration and local administration etc. are the main effects of British rule, which are still visible in Indian administration in the present day. With passaging of time, we can see the changes in the federal and unitary aspects of Indian administration are also clearly visible. Presently, the lack of one-party dominance and powerful leadership, the importance of provincial parties, provincial leadership, liberalism, disinvestment, globalization, etc. have affected these aspects in some way or the other. Therefore, today the central government cannot completely ignore the demand for autonomy of the states. As of now, the role of public administration moreover to governance. This chapter ends here. Thank you.